Good evening, everyone. I'm very happy to see some of my middle school victims in the audience, and they all survived. Look at that, that's great. I will also say it looks like the same dress, but it's a different dress. So, just so you know. All right. You know, one of the critical things about the essay is everything else that everyone has talked about. But then, as an original 12th grade public school English teacher, there are some things that make the distinction between a passable writer and an awesome writer. And that is one of the reasons why you send your child to MEK. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. So, language. One part of the importance in the essay is language. Not only what are you saying, but what kind of words are you using? What are your word choices? Who are you targeting? You are targeting a very specific person or committee, okay? Avoid slang, avoid contractions, avoid ambiguous language. And frankly, I know that some of this seems silly. However, I will tell you that if we polled every burgeoning 12th grader in this room, every one of them will tell you they do not learn how to write in school. Tone. Tone, so you get past the language you use. Now the tone. Tone is your attitude. What is the attitude you're using? Are you using humor? Are you using sarcasm? Are you being serious? Are you trying to be David Sedaris? And all of those are very good things, but you have to make a plan. Use relevant vocabulary to achieve your tone. Voice. You need to approach writing this essay with strength, with vigor. You need to want to get a point across. You need to want to impress somebody hours or days away from you. You want to stand out and look at other great writers. You should pick up a book of essays. You should read people like David Sedaris. You should read some of the New York Times bloggers like Nicholas Kristof. They all have a style. You need to develop your style. You need to use active voice. Grammar. This is probably one of the most important things that distinguishes a great writer. These are some of the most prevalent grammar mistakes. Subject-verb agreement, fragments, misplaced modifiers, and so on. I'm not going to go through the whole list. But again, I will say to you, this is the reason why you come to MEK. I am the mother of 3 grown children. I have had an illustrious career in public school and here at MEK. I've been with MEK more than 18 years. You cannot help your child write this essay. You are too subjective. Your child's essay may wind up being about something that you find not palatable. It could be a great essay. You are too subjective to judge a great essay. He was one of my students, so this is how he started out. First draft. Once they told me about how their business failed and that we didn't have enough money to live in the apartment anymore, I realized that now I'm homeless. First of all, I want you to look at, he's got so many tense shifts, there are sentence fragments, etc. At first, no punctuation. I resented my parents, thinking, how could they let this happen? Only thinking about how this affected me, I didn't even consider how my parents felt about this. What the heck is this? Ambiguous pronoun reference. What is this? I don't know what this is. Is this dog food? Is this going to the supermarket? I have no idea. Like me, they were also having a rough time sleeping in the car, going to McDonald's to get cheap food and washing up, lining up at soup kitchens and at shelters so I could sleep on an actual bed. Childish me didn't think about any of that that, and this, really great, and just complain the whole time. Okay, so his idea, unfortunately very profound and very unsavory, was great. He was homeless. He had spent months living with his mother and father in a car. Okay, so if you go back to what someone said before in a previous segment, we look at the pros and cons of things. We don't only look at your achievements, but you need also to look at your disasters and your obstacles and your challenges, because sometimes you know in your own life, mothers and fathers, this is where we find the most fruit. And this is where we reflect and have the most growth in our own personal lives. We have all struggled with obstacles. So we reworked it, and at first some other people in our organization did not think this was a great topic. After all, this is unsavory. Why would you want to talk about your homelessness? But he had something. He had something very important that not too many other people can share. So then we worked on it, and we wound up with, oh, I'm sorry, that's me. I'm not a technology teacher. I'm sorry. So anyway, it was great. Can you? Okay. At first, I resented my parents and saw them as failures, thinking, how could they let this happen? Only caring about how this situation affected me, I never considered how my parents felt. Like me, they were also having a rough time sleeping in the car, going to McDonald's, using gas stations to wash up, and lining up at soup kitchens. Childish me did not think about our situation, but complained constantly. I could not accept that my life had become like this, that I could not live like others. Turned out to be a great essay, albeit that, of course, it was based on something that was, very challenging. So, in actuality,
you're doing it backwards.
Okay. Our purpose is to help the student, not write for the student, not create the essay for the student, but let the student come through with a style, with a voice, and reminding that student, above and beyond everything else, that the final work must be authentic. Because I'm sure all of you realize that any of the universities your children apply to can, and usually do, get back to the high school and ask for a writing sample. So we do keep that in mind, and we do not write the essay. We're there to guide, and we're there to offer ideas. And in the case of people who are just frozen, I've had, in the course of my career at MEK, I've had hundreds of students tell me, I have nothing to write about. Nothing in my life is really important. And you sit and you talk. And ultimately, everyone has something important to say. And that, my dears, is our job.